Mama said, Mama said, what's up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Ethan Wolt, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Football Show. Today's episode, we're going to go over the biggest fantasy winners and losers from last night's draft. First round only. Second round is going on as we speak. We're monitoring that, just like Jason, Will Levis to the Titans and stuff. That's how up to date we are. So you have a time frame. Anyways, we're going to give you what we think, are going to be the highest producers fantasy-wise, biggest game changers fantasy-wise for next season. So, a lot of defensive picks. We're not going to really cover that because, NFL defense, the Eagles defense is going to be good, stuff like that. But that's the last two picks of the draft. So mostly offensive players here. Jason, before we get into all of that, how would you like to tell the public how they can help this show?
Yeah. If you guys made it this far, please subscribe to support us. We would love that very much. Also, if you could get us some likes, we love the likes. And we love the interaction with you guys. So comments are, we praise the comments. Give us some comments, even if they're bad. We'll still reply. Nothing but love. And if you want to follow us on Instagram for more content, our tag is the Fantasy Football and Show.
All right, Mr. Jason. So before we get into all this, is there a barbecue question?
Oh,
I barbecue today, man. All I can afford is chicken thighs. If you know what I'm talking about.
Tyler remembered. It is the barbecue question of the week, is where we grill the questions. Barbecue question of the week. These are the questions we answer that you want to know. And the question today is, Tyler, what do you think? Which team do you think had the best NFL draft for fantasy?
So, the Houston Texans got two of the top three, players in the NFL draft last night. But I'm not going with them. I'm going to go with the Falcons. Some people think it's a reach, but hey, dude, like Arthur Smith, running backs are super important. They went and got Bijan Robinson 8th overall, and that is going to be huge. So they are one of three teams that run more than they pass. And according to, PFF, next season, they're going to have a top 6 offensive line. So he's going to a situation where they have a good running back, which was a fifth round pick, Tyler Algier. And I really liked him coming into this season, but, as a value pick. But hey, man, like Terrell Davis and some other running backs, we're talking about the difference between good running backs and great running backs. Good running backs will get you like 1,100 yards, like Algier got last season. That's exactly what they said. And a great running back, it'll be more like 1,600 yards. So Bijan Robinson, it could have been, the Eagles would have been better, but this is not bad. This is like, almost best case scenario for him.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, right? I think there were probably some other teams I would have been happy with him going to also, but he just went to a team where their main focus is running the ball. That's what they want to do. They're telling everybody we want to run the ball. Now you got yourself a bell cow who can do it on every down, but he's not going to do it every down. He's going to get some spells with Tyler Algier, which kind of, Tyler Algier was like a player that's like, okay, this is a guy I could probably aim a little bit later in the draft, but now with Bijan Robinson there, he's going to be the main focal point of this run game, and I think it's a pretty good setup.
Yeah. So also, like, there's over and unders here, and the over and under for I heard it on the Dan Patrick show, and I didn't get the number correct. Exactly right, but it was over 1,100 yards. They're already setting for him rushing. So it's like, he's one of these rare people, it's just like, he's not like Adrian Peterson, but he's like, Ezekiel Elliott, Adrian Peterson, these people that came into the draft with no question marks. So, and now he's going to a super run heavy team with a great offensive line. So yeah, that's what people are thinking. And I would think that he's going to fall to he's going to be early 3rd round, maybe draft pick, late 2nd. We'll see, because Nick Chubb right now is going late 2nd. And I would still rather have Nick Chubb over Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. The third round pick, getting BJ Robinson, I think that'd be a good steal. Because I think he has a potential to put up. The Falcons just drafted a tackle from Syracuse, Matthew Bergeron. So even what you're talking about, Tyler, they have a projection to get a 6 offensive line next year, they're still improving it by drafting players. So, yeah, BJ Robinson, 3rd round with the potential of a 1st round, scoring at the end of the year. He could be a top 10 running back. 1st round potential.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the running backs are going to get, they're going to do nothing but rise until August when we're actually drafting. Right now, they're actually pretty low, surprisingly.
Rise.
For the first time in years. So, anyways, Jason, I mean, Bijan Robinson is the first winner that we have for the for our show. It's kind of like biggest fantasy impact, kind of going down the list. So last night, I think that the biggest winner was the Atlanta Falcons and Bijan Robinson, because like Bijan Robinson going to the Eagles would have been even better, but this is not a terrible situation. I can't think of I forget who else. Oh, I would rather have him here than the Cowboys, because I think Tony Pollard is more talented than what's his name? God damn, Tyler Algier and Caleb Williams, and there's more opportunity to run.
Oh, faux show. I guess the good thing is that the fact that he didn't go to the Philadelphia Eagles is that a winner out of that is going to be Rashad Penny, because if Rashad Penny's for the Eagles and Bijan Robinson went to the Eagles, I would have been like,
dude, you're right, man. We need to keep an eye on who they draft, because if that's a huge thing, Jason, that's a good pickup on that. So, anyways, that was pretty easy, Jason. Winner, I do want to say, how do you feel about Bryce Young going to the Carolina Panthers? How do you think that situation sets up for a rookie quarterback in his situation?
I like that situation with Bryce Young. Just because of the talent, I wish CJ went to the Panthers and Bryce Young went to Ohio State. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, or Ohio State.
I was what? That was an option?
I'm going to go back for one more year until I get that number 1 pick. No, just because of how bad the Houston Texans line is, I was hoping that maybe Bryce Young could go there because he's more of an escape artist and he'd be able to work better. We already saw that Bryce Young with Alabama, he was playing with no-name wide receivers and still producing. I think he's a Heisman Trophy winner too, but having no wide receivers and producing the way he did over the season got him the 1st overall pick. So I was like, you know what, this guy could go to the Houston Texans and still produce. He could still do the damn thing, while CJ could go to the Panthers, who have more of a stable line, more have wide receivers that he could work around. And I was just kind of hoping we could watch these two grow over the years, and they could be rivals. Number 1 against number 2, and I still hate you for being number 1. All this stuff.
Yeah, a whole new Mariota, and who was it? Was it Mariota and Carr? No,
Jameis Winston, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. It's
yeah. I was kind of hoping for that. It didn't quite work out. I definitely see the winner for Bryce Young, just because he's already going to have a run game, and he's already playing in a division that's pretty weak, and he's got some name wide receivers and tight end that he could throw the ball to. So I think he's pretty safe. And I think he's going to be able to have a potential, be a top 20, top maybe 15 quarterback this year.
And they picked up Miles Sanders, correct?
Yes.
And from an earlier video that we were doing, I do know that the Carolina Panthers have at least a top 10 offensive line. Maybe it was number 6 or something like that. But anyways, so they brought in 2 veteran wide receivers, Thielen and DJ Shark. I think that you're going to probably want to, Thielen under the radar might be a really good pickup. One last year, he's going to a new place. This rookie quarterback's going to really look, I don't know, maybe look short a lot. And then DJ Shark, I've owned him before when he was on Jacksonville, and he is a really good wide receiver, man. So, and then you have Frank Reich, an offensive head coach that used to be a quarterback and has developed, he made Carson Wentz look okay sometimes and other things. But as far as situations go for, a rookie quarterback, it could have been so much worse than this. So I think that going to Texas, I think that Carolina was the better spot over to the Texans. And so that's why I thought that he was a winner, because he's going to go into a situation where he can succeed right away, just like people expect him to.
Game one, this dude's he's gonna win his first game.
Yeah, and Jason, how do you would he be a quarterback? Like, do you view him as a Trevor Lawrence or a type that you might be able to pick up late and he might be
Yeah,
throwing a lot of touchdowns by the end of the year?
yeah, roll the dice. This guy's probably gonna be throwing touchdowns and running touchdowns. So they got that offensive line for him. Like I said, he's in a very weak division, and it just got weaker over the year. I could definitely put him on the bench for some and do some plugins. And the Panthers just got the wide receiver from Ole Miss, Jonathan Mingo. So they just got another wide
Oh
receiver.
man, he had a first round grade on a lot of people too. So
They just got another arsenal for another weapon for Bryce Young.
yeah, I think that it's a given. I think the number one producing Anthony Richardson is interesting because if they might just run the hell out of the ball with him just like over and over again. I don't know. Maybe that I do not like Anthony Richardson as a starting NFL quarterback this year, but maybe for fantasy he might be okay. But I think it's an easy question or an easy answer to a question: who is going to be the number one, rookie fantasy producer as far as quarterbacks go? It's going to be Bryce Young, and it's going to be
Absolutely.
right off the bat. Yeah, he's going to be somebody that's on our waiver wire list. Like you're going to be able to pick him up off the waiver wires, and you'll regret it. It'll be like a Jared Goff. You'll be like, oh, don't worry, man. Like he's going to stop doing well. I'll pick him up next week or something. Then pretty soon somebody picked him up, and you're like, oh my god, dude, this guy's going to win the championship with Jared Goff.
Yeah. He's going to do it. Make sure you keep an eye on him. I'm a type of guy that likes to have two quarterbacks on my roster. I would not mind waiting pretty late to get this rookie quarterback and see what happens.
All right, Jason. Next up, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, so you're putting him on the winners. Very interesting.
I'm going to tell you why too.
Okay, I'm going to need you to tell me and convince me why this is a winner opportunity.
Okay, because they're going to trade DeAndre Swift.
Oh, okay. Well, if that happens, then hell yeah.
Because man, like this is literally the same player, but just durable. So
Yes, absolutely. I mean, so I was also texting with my dad when this happened, and when Jahmyr Gibbs got picked, at first I'm like, oh man, like this was a guy that I was keeping an eye on for like fantasy football reasons, and he went to the Lions. I'm like, what is going on here? I was like, the only thing I could think of is that they're going to get rid of Swift. That's the only thing, because they don't completely trust Swift just because, like you said, Tyler's not that durable, and now you got a young buck from Alabama who could run the ball like crazy. I think they would rather have Gibbs over Swift. So yeah, if they trade or release or cut whatever Swift, then I would say this is definitely a winner pick. But if they keep Swift in the season, I definitely think this is a loser.
and
So
then well,
losers.
I do want to ask you, Jason, real fast. If they do cut Swift, would you rather have Montgomery or Gibbs?
That's tough. That's tough. I still think Montgomery's still going to be the goal line back. He's going to be built like that. I can't see Gibbs. You know what? Oh my gosh, I can see them kind of finishing around the same area at the end of the season, because Gibbs could catch the ball, and he could catch the ball well. And Jared Goff, he is known for tossing the ball down to Todd Gurley. So I think he could get a lot of receptions this year. He's going to turn them into big games. Oh my gosh, Tyler gave me the toughest question of the year. I think I still think I might go with David Montgomery, because I think David Montgomery, I think we already discussed this. He has a potential to be the bounce back player of the year just because of how he is. He's already hard to tackle. He's a speedster, and he's on a good offensive line. I think he's going to produce a lot this year. So I think I would still go with David Montgomery.
Yeah, and I think it depends on how you want to draft fantasy wise. Like if you
Yeah.
want, if you're gonna get like proven players and so, just like don't take a bunch of projects and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like don't get Jameson Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like you want, because I do believe that Montgomery will outproduce Gibbs in the first half of the season, but the second half Gibbs just might explode. And go like top 5 running back. So, also, Jason, I do like the fact that Gibbs, like, assuming they trade it, because I was like, dude, I can't think in my mind, and I've heard it like 10 times today. They've got to be trading Swift. but like they were like a top 5 offensive line that last season, and they were a top 5 offense. And how many touchdowns did Jamal Williams have? So 17 touchdowns. I'm just like, dude, this guy is so much more talented than Jamal Williams. And if he gets his opportunity, like, dude, there is the ceiling is so high here. It's like, dude, if Bijan Robinson went to the Lions, I'd be like, holy, oh my God, dude, you got to draft him like first round. But now it's like they got Jahmyr Gibbs, so I shouldn't really be changing my mind that much, because I think Jahmyr Gibbs was almost right up there with Bijan Robinson, except for the height, except for the size.
Yeah, and I think one thing that stood out with Bijan Robinson is that he's going to be like a bell cow. Where right now I don't think Gibbs is going to be a bell cow. He's really going to have to work his way up. So at least in a rookie season, I mean, they're going to get their points different way. Robinson's going to get his points because he's going to get the ball 30 times a game. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's going to get the points because he's going to catch like 50 footballs a game. He's going to get points that way and make something of it. So,
Is oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I did want to say, Jason, that Bryce Young's over and under is 26.5 touchdowns.
Over.
So they believe in him right now. So like, when I was talking about him being potentially a fantasy quarterback that could carry you a little bit, maybe in the second half. But anyways, Jason. So yeah, dude, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that I would pick him up right now. Say they did trade DeAndre Swift, I would want to pick up Jahmyr Gibbs in the 3rd round, because we talk about like how right now Chubb and like Robinson are going to be in the 2nd round. So we're looking at Gibbs in 3rd round probably right now.
Okay. We'll get him in the 3rd. That's the same round that you said Bijan Robinson.
No, I thought I said late 2nd.
You said 3rd for Bijan.
Oh, then he's going to go after Bijan. So late 3rd. I think he'll go like 1 or 2 running backs after Bijan if they trade DeAndre Swift. And I'm thinking they're going to do that right now.
They have to, right? We might see it coming up in this NFL draft live on ESPN. It's already crazy right now. There's been so many trades.
Dude, this is like the most trades I've ever seen for a draft. I don't know what the record is, but we got to be approaching.
It's awesome.
Yeah, well, this is the new GMs. They all want to trade, and whatever. So that's great. All right, Mr. Jason. This is huge. This guy right here plays inside, plays outside. They've got KJ Osborne, and they need to get some double teams, triple teams, literally triple teams off of Justin Jefferson. So, like, dude, fantasy-wise, like, I see this being such an impact. This was I almost put this as my most important fantasy impact player when you said, who had the best fantasy draft. I was going to say, dude, the Vikings, man. Like, had they had Zay Flowers or whatever, I would have said Vikings no matter what. But yeah, dude. So Addison in the slot, or maybe even, across all the way from Justin Jefferson, is going to produce big time, man. Big time. I'm going to draft him. I don't know when I'm going to draft him, but I'm going to try to make sure that I have this dude, because his versatility. Oh man, I'm going to draft Justin Jefferson, so I can't draft him. God, you should draft him, Jason.
I got to get him. I have to get him for the show.
How do you feel about this, Viking?
Yeah, well, this is something that we were talking about too, where the Vikings, they had to get a wide receiver. It's like, I don't think this was a secret. Everyone knew that they were trying to get like a wide receiver with Adam Thielen gone, and they get somebody who could like make sure that Justin Jefferson was not getting tripled, double team like every play. I think they're going to keep KJ Osborne in the slot just because that's what he's so used to. And this guy, I think they're going to put him as the number 2 on the side, because he's got the speed. We've seen it. He's got the speed to go deep, and he can stretch the defense. He can stretch it and have Justin Jefferson do like his little pro routes and do everything like that. Or, like Addison could do like little drag routes and have Justin Jefferson go up and do some jump balls. Either way, if Addison is if he's one-on-one with a defender, you're going to have to like throw him the ball. So now defenses are going to be like, oh my God, what are we going to do here? Because we got 9 players on Justin Jefferson. We got 1 player on KJ Osborne. And we got 1 player in Addison. Like, that's not even enough players on the field to even like stop this passing game that's going to happen in this upcoming season.
Well, dude, this is like a upgraded. As much as I love DK Metcalf, he's not Justin Jefferson. And my comp for Addison was Tyler Lockett. So it's like, it's almost like the Seattle's. I mean, Seattle. I mean, speaking of Seattle, we'll talk about them in a minute, but they've got like the best receiving core in the league right now. But the Vikings could have something similar to that. So, dude, I thought that was huge. I think Addison's going to be a huge pickup this season. Like as far as rookie wide receivers, the Vikings throw it way more than Seattle and dude, I forget who drafted. I have a picture in my phone. All the teams that drafted wide receivers in the first round, but Vikings lead that. So, and you have a head coach that knows how to use wide receivers. Like he developed Cooper Kupp. I think it's gonna be big time for Addison, man. Big time.
Yeah, it was a Seahawks got wide receivers or wide receiver. The Chargers got a wide receiver. Ravens got a wide receiver, and the Vikings got a wide receiver.
And the Ravens got a wide receiver, but the Ravens
You got
only
Zay
passed for
Flowers.
3,200 yards.
You got Zay Flowers, and yeah, they got Zay Flowers.
Yeah, we'll talk about Zay Flowers a little bit later if you know what I'm talking about. I do want to. Okay, so we're gonna go to. This is like a. So quarterbacks are going to be important this year, Jason.
Yeah.
And one is going to be a value because he was injured all last year. I just listened to a interview with, God, dude, I forget who it was. Austin Eckler, somebody else for the Chargers. People forget. Oh, it was a backup quarterback. Chase Daniels, I think. And man, people forget that Justin Herbert was wrecked all season last season.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about who he got last night.
We got Mike Williams. So interesting. You're putting this guy as a winner, huh?
I'm putting Herbert. I shouldn't focus.
Oh, okay. So
I think that
Herbert.
I think that quarterbacks are very important here this season.
Okay. Okay.
So and I think that Trevor Lawrence and Herbert were almost in the same tier, and this just kind of gives me, dude. It just gives me even more towards Herbert. So I'm still this. I had Herbert just barely above Trevor Lawrence, and now it's like, as far as fantasy goes, I think that this is great, dude, because Keenan Allen's old, man, and like, yeah, this dude is a Mike Williams clone. They're gonna just trade off being injured, so at least like they'll both play 8 games next season, but at least he'll have one of a Mike Williams version for each game. Like because Austin Eckler situation and everything, I just thought that this was really big.
The Packers just drafted tight end Luke Musgrave, tight end from Oregon State.
Is that before Michael Mayer?
No, Michael Mayer.
That's right. He went to Oakland to compete with Foster Moreau.
Las Vegas. Yeah.
So Jason, but what do you think about how do you feel about God, dude, I didn't even write his name down, did I?
Herbert or Quentin?
It was the TCU guy or whoever that
Quentin.
Yeah, Quentin Johnston. Like we talked about him, he's super inconsistent, but we'll just talk about we compared him to Mike Williams, and that's exactly who he went and paired up with.
Yeah, no wonder they were just like, oh, we already have this guy. Let's try to double it.
Because I would say it's a loss. I would say that he's a loser, Jason, but he's got a lot of opportunity.
I mean, yeah, if he could just, I think the difference will be if he could just stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be better than Mike Williams because it's the same guy, but Mike Williams can't always stay healthy or he's very inconsistent. I don't know if you saw, Tyler, did you notice his little spin move every time he caught the ball?
Dude.
Straight to the right. They showed it on ESPN when he got drafted, but
so yeah,
I think sorry, what?
No, you go for it.
I think this is a bigger win for Justin Herbert. Herbert, in 2021, he threw for 38 touchdowns, and that was the year I had him. I was like, dude, he's the best ever, blah, blah, blah. This is amazing. He's going to continue to grow. But then last year, he only threw for 25 touchdowns, right? And he also threw for almost 400 yards less. I think adding another weapon, especially to an aging wide receiver core, I think it's more of a winner for Justin Herbert. So I do agree. I think by adding Quentin Johnston there, that he's going to be able to bump those touchdown numbers up at least into the 30s, right? At least into the 30s. Where Justin Herbert's going, you want this guy to throw 35 touchdowns,
And Quentin Johnston's going to be your dynasty leagues and stuff like that. You're not going to really want to draft him high in regular fantasy football because he is going to get, but I do not want to call him a loser. I mean, yeah, he's kind of in between because he's going to have an amazing offense and Keenan Allen is going to be gone soon. So it's he's there to replace, but dude, it's we talked about, Mike Williams, every time he goes up for a catch, you don't know if he's going to be gone for 3 weeks after that. So he is definitely going to have his opportunity to perform in this like amazing offense. So I think that he is a winner, and he gets to wear amazing uniforms and live in that city. So I do like all of that.
They also got Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator, and we'll see if Austin Eckler is going to stay there.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of getting into like the individual winners anyways, like that aren't like we'll talk about this, but I think that a big winner, Jason, Kyler Murray and James Conner. I know that they had to trade up and kind of gave up a lot for this guy, but they picked up the best offensive tackle in the draft, and that Skoronski was a really good offensive lineman, but he was an interior offensive lineman, and they needed outside protection.
So you talking about Paris Johnson?
Oh,
Junior?
yeah. Paris Johnson, like everything I've heard about him, all the tape I saw, he is the best. And there's a good chance if the Cards blow this year that they could get Caleb Williams, collapse for Caleb, and then just say, hey, dude, we watched Jared Goff get paid. We watch, all these other people get paid and leave. We'll do the same with Kyler Murray. We'll pay him and then draft, or we'll trade him and then draft Caleb Williams, and then he gets his old offensive tackle.
Wait, who's Caleb Williams' old offensive tackle? Paris Johnson?
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm so confused. So
no, he's not his old offensive tackle. He's Kyler Murray's old offensive tackle, but
okay,
he's gonna look good blocking for Caleb Williams, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, yeah. So, but you're saying this is a winner for Kyler Murray
and James Conner.
Yeah, because a lot of people drafted Kyler Murray, kind of earlier than what he really performed, just because of it's Kyler Murray, and it was not the same team this year. It really wasn't. It was not the same team that we were seeing, and it starts with the offensive line. And yes, he tore his ACL on a blade of grass when he was like nowhere being touched by anybody, but he did have to scramble because he was not getting the protection that he needed. Luckily, he is a scrambling quarterback, or he probably got hurt even earlier in the season. So now you got somebody helping protect him and open up holes for James Conner, unless they draft another running back.
TBD. They should.
Yeah, this is going to be a big winner for Kyler Murray. But I would also like to see them get a wide receiver in this. If I'm thinking about,
because they're losing DeAndre Hopkins, but
yeah,
dude, I just figured because James Conner is surprisingly good, dude. He gets touchdowns up the butt. So I don't know if you heard that, Jason. That's an old thing.
I feel like my butt was on the screen when you said that.
And Kyler Murray, dude, is always running for his life. Last season was really bad, and they just paid the dude. So protection. I just thought two fantasy wise, to James Conner, it's gonna be huge, and Kyler Murray. Next up, Jason, dude, Derrick Henry needed, because they just lost Taylor Lewan and somebody else last year. They're two old mainstays that were paving the road graders for Derrick Henry for 6 years. But they got Skoronski, who was an amazing, one of the top offensive linemen. He's got the name for it. So yeah, I think it's a huge bump. Gives you a lot more confidence in Derrick Henry. And I still like Tannehill if the situation's right. And Trey Burks.
Well, I mean, they just got Will Levis. So I don't know if Tannehill is going to be that guy much longer. How much time does he have left? And there's still potential.
I wouldn't worry about Levis, Jason.
Well, there could be a chance where they're just okay, we're going to focus on this guy playing for the next 2 years, and hopefully he comes out. Will Levis was Mel Kiper Jr.'s number one quarterback, and it's crazy. He kept comparing him to Josh Allen, and then they would show they just show the highlights. I'm dude, that's crazy how much he runs like him at least. And he's this guy's like Josh Allen. I think Mel Kiper Jr. was actually just comparing him to Josh Allen, and then thinking, well, Josh Allen is who he is today, so he has to be the better quarterback. But whatever, that's Mel Kiper Jr., not us. I was hoping
Josh Allen's good quarterback. He got a lot of friends, and they'll be able to back to you, Greeny.
Yeah.
Chris Mortensen.
Yeah.
Good luck, man. I hope you make it another year, dude.
500 more words left.
Dude, that guy was tripping me out. So it was like, they got a dead person. They gave him a fake tan, propped this dude up.
He did some like weird thing where like he looked like he was on the phone and then he's all camera.
It was like, no, it was when the Cardinals traded. I think it was when the Cardinals traded up, and he was just like, and then
It was something weird. I was like, oh my god.
Adam Schefter was like, oh my god, what? My contract better not include this fool any longer.
I know. It's like, I think it's time to let this guy go.
Oh, all right, Jason.
Just got a cornerback, so they're working on the defense.
Oh yeah, we got time for one more. So, anyways,
Another winner. Here we go.
Another winner, Najee Harris and Pickett, dude. So it was amazing. The Steelers traded with the Patriots. Patriots like, oh yeah, you know what, Jets, you need an offensive tackle. Oh, guess what, dude? We just traded our pick to the person in front of you so they can get Broderick Jones, who was the last of the tier. He was the last of like the first round grade tackles. So completely screwed the Jets. Same division. It was an awesome pick.
Oh, Bill Belichick, you son of a gun. Yeah, so the first thing I thought about too, Tyler, is when this guy got picked, I was like, well, now hopefully we can actually have open holes for Najee Harris to run through and someone to help protect Kenny Pickett so he could stay in the pocket a little bit longer to throw the ball. I was honestly thinking, I was like, damn, so I really like this pick. Like, when can I start actually thinking about picking up Najee Harris? But in my position, in my strategy already in my draft, I don't really have a chance to get him. But I think now this is going to be the year to get Najee Harris. I think this is going to be the year to get him.
Hey, we've got Kenny Pickett going to second year, George Pickens going to year 2, and one of the analysts was like, they need help. George Pickens needs help on the other side. I'm like, dude, do you remember Deontay Johnson that they paid a bunch of money to and who's an amazing wide receiver?
Yeah.
But I understand you're on this stuff is hard, dude, talking in front of a camera, so I totally get it. I've got so much more sympathy for people now. I'm like, oh god, dude.
And we don't even do it live.
Yeah, well, we do. I mean, we only have one. I mean, I know I messed up the very beginning of the show, but other than that, we never do. This is all first take stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're not going to get done right now. I might as well. We only have 3 minutes left in this video because we don't want to pay for that Zoom.
Do we have more winners?
Yeah, we have 2 more winners.
Okay. Then that's
I was like, we can get through it real fast, but
start the next video. Let's do it.
And we only have 4 losers, so.
All right, we could do that in one more video.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's gonna. I'm like dripping sweat on my neck, dude.
Yeah, it is so hot, and it sucks because I want to bring out the AC, but I think Sunday it's going back down to like 50 degrees here.
It's supposed to here too, but I'm gonna get a thermometer back here so you guys know how like what I'm in the steam room here, dude. It's crazy. All right, I do it for you guys. I do it for you. I do it for you guys. Back to you, Greenie. Okay. Okay. All right, people. I've just been informed that Chris Mortensen had throat cancer, so I do apologize. Guess what, though? I have cancer, or I do have cancer somewhere, but I had cancer. I only have one ball because of it. So, hey, Chris Mortensen, we're in the same club, dude. And I do apologize because I understand how bad it sucks. So thank you, Jason, for informing me of that. He's like, hey, dude, understand that. So my bad. But the good thing about us is, hey, we can apologize about the things that we do wrong. We make mistakes every day. The important thing is that you don't make the same mistake twice, Jason.
Yep, and we want to. We don't even have to apologize because no one watches this. At least this far.
Nobody made it this far.
And there's not going to be no timestamp for Chris Morrison.
I was like, oh man, I got to remember to do that. I got to do that impression, man. I got to do it early. I'm so glad I didn't know. I totally forgot about it. So anyways, we've got 2 more winners. Then we're going to go over the losers, fantasy losers. I mean, they're winners, they're badass, but like as far as where they went, it's not a good situation.
For fantasy.
Okay, this is a fantasy. So anyways, it's 110 degrees in this garage right now, and I'm trying to just drink enough beer to offset the heat. I don't know how much beer that is. Trevor Lawrence, Jason. T-Law. He is. You and I have been pushing him for like a year plus, and he paid off big time for us last year. This year, I think I still said he's going to go in the 7-8 turn.
Yeah.
And then I got the big news. I was like, oh my god, dude, I was devastated because the starting like right tackle or left tackle got busted for PEDs. And I was like, oh my god, dude, I'm all in the offensive lines this year. You know, like this is the year I'm gonna like pay so much attention to offensive lines. And the first thing is my golden boy gets his protector taken away. You know, I need my golden boy to be protected. But hey, guess what, dude? They went out and drafted an offensive tackle in the first round. So it made me very happy. I think that Trevor Lawrence is a huge winner. Calvin Ridley, hey, dude, you know, you are a deep threat specialist. You're gonna get some time again.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much like everything with this, right? I mean, they had an issue at their offensive line just because their guy is going to get suspended probably like 6 games. So they went out and got a offensive tackle who's going to be able to challenge him for that position. So in the end, he's still going to be able to afford that time and be able to stay in the pocket just a little bit longer so he could throw the ball to Calvin Ridley, who we're both big on this year. I think this was a good pick. It was a good pick for Jacksonville, and it was a good pick that could help out Trevor Lawrence and maybe even Travis Etienne. I don't know. I gotta stop doing this. This makes me think of like red rum. I just gotta do this. Etienne.
All right, Jason. This is big time. I know it's not the best offensive lineman. He's a right tackle. But I do think that the Bears are trying to give Justin Fields the best chance they can. And if you want to take a gamble on a quarterback, don't do Anthony Richardson or some stupid crap. You're probably going to want to go Justin Fields. Like he was the number one quarterback for like 3 out of 5 weeks at one stretch or something like that. So I do believe in Justin Fields and them drafting a young offensive tackle. You know, it starts there.
Yeah, you know, the Bears don't even throw the ball that much. Justin Fields doesn't throw the ball that much. But maybe because they didn't have a great line. Obviously, they didn't have a great line. I mean, look what happened to them this year. But so they are addressing that. They're trying to get they got somebody an offensive tackle from Tennessee. I don't know if this is going to allow Justin Fields to throw the ball more, but I know it is going to open the lanes more for him running or running backs running. Like, you know, was it Devonta? Oh my God. Devontae Foreman.
Deontay
Foreman. God, why I just want to say Devontae every time. Deontay Foreman and Herbert.
That's because you're white, Jason.
Sorry.
All right, dude.
So
that is all of the winners, Jason.
Alrighty, ready.
All of the winners. And I do want to say, like I would draft Justin Fields after Trevor Lawrence, but he's not far behind. So, because I mean, I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be a very consistent, good quarterback next season. But if you're just going for like, you know, I went for ceiling every single pick last season, didn't work out for me. But if you're going for ceiling, dude, like extreme ceiling, Justin Fields, I don't think you can get much better than him.
Well, yeah, he's going to. I mean, there was a game I think he scored like 50 points, but look what happened to Justin Fields. He like hurt himself, right? He like hurt his shoulder. I don't see him throwing the ball more. That's not his strength. His strength is running the ball. So he's going to be getting hit more. He's going to be getting tackled more. He's going to have to run out of bounds or slide more just to avoid the contact. But just because he's going to have more opportunities to get hit, he's going to have a higher risk of getting hurt. Where Trevor Lawrence is not. He's not that guy. He's ready to rip it, sling it. He's going to sling it. He's a little gunslinger. The Wow Lawrence Tylaw West. I don't know what that was.
Remember Wes Welker and Randy Moss?
Why do you say Wes Welker? That's
they both did it, man. It was
Wes Welker never did anything like that.
Oh, he did it, man. He did it.
He was always the guy that's like, let me shake the ref's hand. Let me shake Bill Belichick's hand.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like the football today? Here you go.
Here we go. Thank you.
Anyways.
Thank you. Yeah. Here we go.
Our first loser, Jason. CJ Stroud, and I'm only saying that. I mean, I love D'Amico Ryans and what they're going to be doing there. I mean, he got Dameon Pierce for a running back who I love. But his other option was going to the Colts, man. The Colts had Quentin Nelson. They were like an amazing offensive line for a long time. They get the old Eagles offensive coordinator who knows how to develop quarterbacks. And they had Michael Pittman Jr. and like I forget some of those other wide receivers, but a lot better wide receivers. So I just think like out of the two options, he went like as far as fantasy value, he went to like the far less option. You know, he had Jonathan. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is better than Dameon Pierce as much as I love Dameon Pierce. So yeah, dude, I just think it sucks for him as far as fantasy goes. But I think that he's gonna love playing for D'Amico Ryans more than the other dude and everything else. Everything I hear about D'Amico Ryans just seems like awesome. What, dude? You don't like D'Amico Ryans?
No, these are the losers, right? This is the loser tone. So this is exactly what I just said earlier when we're talking about Bryce Young. Like I wish it flipped more, but it didn't. So now CJ is this guy made a living with the wide receivers that he was throwing the ball to. Now, who's he throwing the ball to? They don't even have Brandon Cooks anymore. They're going to have to really rely on the run game and that defense that they don't have, even though they just picked Will Anderson Jr. They're going to rely on the defense that they don't have. How is this guy going to do well his first year, at least his first year, right? I can't see it. I do think he's a great quarterback. I think you're going to have to build some weapons around him. I think now that you have your running back for the future, now you have your quarterback for the future, and now you got to give him some weapons for him to throw the ball to. We are in the second round at the 48th pick. Maybe there's still some chances for them to get some wide receivers for him to throw the ball to, but right now he's got nobody. And he's got a defensive head coach. So I agree. It is the loser option for CJ Stroud.
So CJ Stroud, his ceiling is Justin Herbert, and that's amazing, right? So like, that he was my comp. If Justin Herbert would have started out with the Texans, I don't think it would have played out the same way. Like he doesn't have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Austin Eckler and all that kind of stuff. So it's just
or Tyrod Taylor,
dude, or Tyrod Taylor to take a needle for him, man. Hey, I took a needle for you.
I took a needle for you, man.
This is how you do it to me.
You can't put me in the wheel. I took a needle for you, man.
So yeah. Anyways, like I just think that was a big hit, dude. Fantasy wise, so that's why it's easy for me to say Bryce Young is going to be the number one fantasy quarterback for rookies this next season. All right, Jason. Next up, he was the dude I compared to Antonio Brown. And did you see Antonio Brown released a tweet saying he's going to join the Ravens this year?
Oh God!
And the Ravens don't know anything about it, apparently.
He's old news. Is this Zay Flowers?
Yeah.
So this has kind of got me. Oh wait, hold on. This got me some mixed feelings, just because, with them getting Odell Beckham and then them getting Zay Flowers, I'm like, okay, I think they're gonna try to possibly throw the ball more. I mean, they were always like the team that's like Lamar Jackson isn't the quarterback, right? He's more of a running back. Well, maybe this time they're actually going to give him some help and he actually has people to throw the ball to, right? Like he hasn't really had any number one targets other than Mark Andrews because he's an awesome tight end. But I was like, I can't even think any wide receivers.
Hollywood Brown, dude.
He did have Hollywood Brown. They traded him for a reason because he led the league in drops like 2 years in a row. Anyway, I think, did you have Hollywood Brown on your fantasy team when he was a Raven?
Yeah, dude, he was the best. No, I didn't. And then Bateman, can't stay healthy. So it's like, I understand, but I don't. That's the thing though, Jason, is like, do I want anybody off the Ravens that aren't named Lamar or Mark Andrews? Like, no, dude. Or, I want the running backs, J.K. Dobbins or whoever ends up being the lead dog there. Yeah, like that'd be great. But you don't want any wide receivers from the Ravens, dude. So
they are a run first team. Absolutely. I do think Zay Flowers is probably Bold prediction. Here we go. Zay Flowers outproduces Odell Beckham this year.
Yeah, I believe that. And the funny thing is, like, Antonio Brown's going to the Ravens. Maybe he'll mentor Flowers. They'll like, that was my comp. But like I said, they don't know anything. Apparently, the Ravens don't know anything about that. So
He just said that.
yeah. So like, I think Odell Beckham's gonna have more touchdowns than Zay Flowers, but Zay Flowers is gonna be definitely the more targeted, more yards player. And he's gonna deserve it, dude. Like, he's gonna beat people. He's gonna be amazing. But as far as fantasy goes, until you get a different quarterback in there, I love Lamar Jackson, dude. But like, unless he stands there and throws it 30 times, it's not the way they're built. It's not the way they've played. They'd have to change everything to start making me want their wide receivers. So yeah.
Well, Bateman in the first like 2 games last season, he had like 2 touchdowns that were over like 50
I was gonna say
yards.
one was like 70 yards, dude.
And then there was another one that was another 50-yarder because I had him last year. So I'm like, this is the year he's going to break through. Then he got hurt, and then I hated him. I mean, I can see that being Zay Flowers. He's got the deep threat material. He can also catch. Maybe he could be the guy getting those long touchdowns. But
All right, Jason.
we're gonna have to see some changes in that offense before I feel comfortable really trying to put Zay Flowers in my starting lineup.
Yeah, like, as far as like where are you gonna draft Zay Flowers? It's gonna be late, So it's gonna be over Bateman. You're gonna draft him over Bateman.
Yes.
And Odell Beckham's gonna go before him, but I would rather, like Jason said, he's gonna there's gonna be a little bit of value because he's a rookie and there's a lot of, and there's just not big of a piece of a pie for him. But I do think that he will outproduce OBJJ all the way. So
and he'll do it with less catches.
Correcto Mundo.
All right, here we go. Who's the next?
Kincaid.
Oh my gosh. I think I saw. Oh my gosh, you're right. I remember seeing this and I was like, we were so. I like Kincaid. Still, I guess these general managers, owners, experts, they know a lot more than us because 2 tight ends left before Kincaid. I forgot to tell you in the second round, Tyler, the guy from Iowa, the tight end, I can't remember his name, but he got drafted before Mayer. So, George Kittle is probably really happy about that. But anyway, yeah, I'm like, okay, so Josh Allen, already has a tight end in Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is touchdown dependent already. And now they drafted another tight end. So I think this cuts into both production. I think Kincaid, they're probably going to use more like maybe in the slot. They'll probably use him in the slot more than the tight end position because they have Dawson Knox and because Kincaid, he's pretty decent at route running and he could do the yards after catch. So I can see him in the slot, but they cut into both prediction or they cut into both of the pie, right? Like there's already a small pie for Dawson Knox to begin with, and then you just put in another tight end in there, and there's just not enough. So,
dude, well, I thought you were going to say something about Dallas because who'd Buffalo traded to get in front of Dallas to draft this dude? And if you watch the Dallas draft room when they drafted like that defensive tackle from Michigan, they were like not happy. So I am pretty sure that the Dallas Cowboys really wanted Kincaid. And had he gone to the Cowboys, I'd have been like, I don't believe in rookie running backs, or rookie tight ends, but they don't even expect this guy to block anyway. So he might be pretty damn good. But then he went here. And his most common NFL comp when I was, Googling it, like who was his NFL comp, because I didn't want to be like that, it was Dawson Knox. And I was like, oh my God, dude. So like, it's like the Mike Williams situation, or it's just like you're getting a clone of the same dude. And rookie tight ends it's very rare that they produce, for fantasy rookie year anyways. And I just don't see it happening here. But I did say, Jason, remember in that short, I was like, dude, they need a big, huge body across from Stephon Diggs, big, huge wide receiver. Maybe just treat this dude like a wide receiver and forget about tight end.
I'm pretty sure this guy's going to be up in the slot. This guy's going to be running slot routes.
So, I mean, he's only 6'4". I mean, I've been 6'3", 230. This dude's like 6'4", 215. Like, just get in there and I don't know, man. I would think he could play wide receiver.
Let's see what
Oh,
happens.
all right, dog.
Okay, yeah.
We got the last one. I saved a good one for last. So
we've already done 4. Hey, breaking news: Packers got Jaden Reed, wide receiver from Michigan State. So they did.
Sayonara, Aaron Rodgers. You do not get what you want.
So what is that? They got 2 rookie wide receivers last year, and then they got a rookie wide receiver this year for Jordan Love, Baco boy from Utah. Okay.
Well, like I said, dude, they're trying to protect their investors. They don't want to look bad after this.
Oh yeah, you can't embarrass the cheeseheads.
Oh, also, as far as Dalton Kincaid, I do want to throw out the fact that Buffalo was 31st in the league since Josh Allen has arrived in yards via tight end. So, yeah, not a lot of tight end yards going on there. Even when you have Dawson Knox, who was a very similar dude to. Oh, I've got the hiccups because I've been drinking.
You sound like me.
Dawson Knox is very similar dude to Kincaid. So there you go. Kincaid is not George Kittle.
He's
George
not.
Kittle is faster. Dude, I'm gonna die here on air.
We got proof.
Next up, Jason, we got Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Oh. Yeah, like so Tyler Lockett, who was the hyper targeted person on the Seattle Seahawks? It was Metcalf. I know because I was like comparing him to Tyreek Hill last year as far as like physically superior hyper targeted wide receivers. And then Tyler Lockett on the other side, dude, he can still take over a game. We talked about it. He'll have games where he gets 3 touchdowns and like 200 yards. It's crazy. And now you're throwing in Njigba in here. It's like, dude, it's great for the Seahawks. Amazing move for the Seahawks. But for fantasy, I don't know, dude. Until I see it, I'll have to see it to believe it. I was like, oh, he could catch 100 balls this year. Maybe not when you got these 2 best, like the best wide receiver core in the NFL, you know, and they want to distribute the ball there. And Geno Smith has been pretty good about that. And you have a pass catching running back. Yeah, it's just hard, dude.
Yeah, this was a big disappointment. That he went to the Seattle Seahawks because they already have 2 wide receivers that you pick up in fantasy. Now this guy, you know, he's got to play the slot. There's no other position for him, so he's going to play the slot, and he's going to likely be like the fourth option on that offense, right? So you're going to have Kenneth Walker, you're going to have DK Metcalf, and you're going to have Tyler Lockett, and then Jackson. It just sucks.
Yeah, and they like Noah Fant too. Dude, Noah Fant was getting some targets last year.
It sucks because this guy was very high. Might have been the first wide receiver off the board, Tyler. First wide receiver.
He was my number 2 wide receiver, but he was everybody else's number 1 wide receiver. First wide receiver taken off the board. So,
I mean, people on ESPN were comparing him to Julian Edelman. Edelman wasn't even a thing for a couple of years in his career. So, and I think this is what's going to happen to him too. I think he still has the potential to do well, but we're going to have to wait till Tyler Lockett leaves. When Tyler Lockett hits that point where he's gone, I think he's going to take a huge jump. It's going to be probably year 2, year 3. Zach Charbonnet went to the Seattle Seahawks, running back from UCLA.
Damn, dude. So Kenneth Walker downgrade. Oh my God. Are you
kidding me?
All right, let's just have Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker again. Which one do you want to roll the dice on this week? So yeah, if you're a Kenneth Walker dude, you're
no.
Just go kick rocks because apparently Seattle Seahawks don't care. That was talk about terrible spots for fantasy. That's a terrible spot for fantasy right there.
that disappoints me. That's on the loser list because I was really looking forward to this guy to being on a team and he was going to be the bell cow for that
All right,
team.
here we go.
Oh, what's this?
Walker.
Oh, this is what happens on the fly, live, while the draft is going. Oh my gosh, they are going, and this is like this is crazy. Yes, they got one of the best cornerbacks in college football, but they are focusing a lot on positions they don't really need. Their main concern last year was their run defense. They haven't got anybody on the defensive line yet. Oh my gosh. I am very disappointed in this pick just because I wanted him. I really like this guy, and I was hoping he was going to go to a team and he was going to be the number one guy and he was going to get, 300 carries in a season and even catch some footballs. But that's not going to happen now because they also have Kenneth Walker, the third on that team. I mean, they are going to split carries, or Kenneth Walker will still get, be 60-40. His fantasy relevance is gone for now.
And Kenneth, I mean, I love Kenneth Walker way more than Chardonnay. Let me get that straight. But a second round on a top 5 running back is not good for anybody. So
yeah,
you're looking at a 50-50 split here. And in an offense, I mean, maybe they'll get back to running the hell out of the ball, dude. They've got 3 wide receivers and 2 starting running backs, Jason. They've got 3 starting wide receivers, right? They've got 3 like number 1 wide receivers almost. And 2 number 1 running backs. I'm still hiccuping. I mean, hopefully you guys think this is funny out there.
Yeah, it'll be a while. I know how that goes. That's for the Zach Charbonnet. Yeah, so good for Seattle. They're trying to beef up their team so they could keep up with the San Francisco 49ers because that's the team they're going to battle against this year. But I think they're losing focus of what they really needed to learn on. Maybe they have so much confidence in their no. You know what? You were able to run on this team last year. You need to find players on that defensive line. I can't believe this has happened. They're just adding more weapons on that line to hopefully keep up with the Niners.
Jason, I was thinking about Dexter coming in here and being like, the beer was thrown from this direction.
Oh, I know, because the herb spatter. No, the hops splatter.
It was a tall can, and he threw it. It flipped three times. Anyways.
Oh shit! Or crap.
That's it for the show, people. I know our episodes have been super long lately, but
we got more to talk about.
Okay, never mind. What's up?
We got more to talk about. We're doing this on the fly. I didn't get a winner and I didn't get a loser with this quarterback, but I want to know what you feel about Anthony Richardson from Florida, starting quarterback for the Colts, picked number 4. And the one thing I really liked about this is that Tyler was like, you know what, my comparison for this guy is like Donovan McNabb. Who did ESPN, the experts on that team, compared him to? Donovan McNabb. They even showed some highlights from.
Shut up. When did they really do that?
In the draft, they were showing him in Syracuse, and they were
bastards.
And I was just like, "Damn, Tyler!
Did they really?
You was a man, homie." Yeah,
I think he's a winner, dude.
Is he a winner? Is he a loser?
He's a winner because I mean he gets to go to the dude that developed. I should actually put him in on as a winner. I was just going through when I was typing this all out this morning, and I guess I forgot about him. Anthony Richardson is a winner. He gets to go to the coach who developed Jalen Hurts with an offensive line that has been great before in the not too distant past. I was gonna say future, but I think that's an X-Men movie. And so yeah, dude, Anthony Richardson with Jonathan Taylor in the back. It's like, let's get the most 2 jack dudes and just run them down people's throat. Be like a dirty movie, Be like, what's up, people? But yeah, so I mean, as far as places he could have gone, I couldn't think of a better place.
Yeah, this is the kind of, if CJ Stroud wasn't going to go here, we were kind of hoping Anthony Richardson was going to go here. He might be like a Justin Fields, and he's probably going to have more more rushing yards than passing yards in the season. I mean, at least got Michael Pittman to throw the ball to. They're going to focus on that offensive line, but he's going to be used in the goal line. So I feel like if there's a loser for anybody with this, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor because we're not going to need him as much at the goal line. But it's a winner for Anthony Richardson.
It might also help Jonathan Taylor because instead of like Matt Ryan, they're going to run the ball like 40 times, 50 times a game, dude, with Anthony Richardson back there. So as far as opportunity for yards, I think it's actually really good for Jonathan Taylor.
They are going to run that boy to the ground.
I mean, you texted me that, dude. They're going to run that boy.
They're going to run that boy to the ground. Here we go. They're going to put some mud boots on that guy, and they're going to run him in until there's nothing left. But, he's young, so he'll be back next year, all good as new.
Plus, he's built like a superhero, so, I mean.
Yeah, he's
we'll see.
I saw a video of him today doing what's that thing, Tyler, when you like a windmill where you're like,
oh, a cartwheel.
God, he did a cartwheel, then another cartwheel, then a backflip. And I'm like, quarterbacks are not meant to do that. What is he doing?
All right, people. Any more, Jason?
No. If there was any defense I've said that went off of this would be the Eagles because they got every. But
yeah, so I was like, dude, the Eagles are insane, man. Insane.
Yeah.
You have all the veterans with the new guys. It's insane.
Yeah.
And I texted Jason. I was like, the Cowboys aren't going to be winning the division anytime soon. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, don't start Tony Pollard against the Eagles.
The Eagles are going to be dominating for the next 4 or 5 years. So.
All right, Tyler, before we end this, in the end, are you happy with your pick? Are you happy with the Vikings pick?
Oh. Yeah, Addison. Yeah, I wanted Zay Flowers, but Zay Flowers is gone. So Addison is what I heard all about. Was I surprised? Zero. It was on my mock draft. And I wanted another wide receiver for Justin Jefferson. I'm a Vikings fan, and I'm going to be a Justin Jefferson owner next year. So, yeah, dude, the Vikings, I am super happy with the Vikings picks. How do you feel about the Cowboys pick, Jason, there?
You know what? I'm glad that they focus. I'm glad they focus on the defensive line because I think that's probably one of our biggest needs, like the interior of it. So they got a defensive tackle from Michigan who's also coached by John Harbaugh, right? Is that the right Harbaugh? I was like, okay, this is awesome. And then I saw a lot of clips of him without his shirt on. I'm like, this guy looks like the most out of shape defensive tackle that I met or that I've seen in my entire life. I'm like, why am I not on this camera with my shirt off and just sitting there like?
That would be your position. You'd be the guard. Youthable, like a 6'3" fucking, or dang it. There you go. I gotta blur that out.
I swore to. Chargers just went defensive tackle from USC. Tuli, this guy, he led the college football in sacks with 13.7 sacks last year, but it seems like Tuli, I can't even say his name, but he's Hawaiian. Tyler, I know you like the Hawaiians.
Samoa.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I mean, people seem to kind of like that pick. Micah Parsons, he really liked it. I guess he even texted Dan Quinn like 7 hours before is like, hey, defensive tackle Maza from Michigan, look him up. And he's like, Dan Quinn was like, I got you, fam. Yeah,
I mean, you trying to keep Dan Quinn happy because he wants to go get another job. So, anyways, Jason, how many beers?
I got one more thing, Tyler. While we're ending this, if there was not a winner, but a loser, but the most hated pick in the 2023 NFL draft was the 31st pick by the Chiefs, defensive end Felix and Uzama from Kansas State. And that's because of the crazy parade that they did after that draft. It was like a concert. As soon as they announced the name, it was like a concert. And I was like, I can't even handle this right now. It is 9:00 my time. It's probably 12:00, New York time. Why are they doing this? I want to see highlights. I got pissed. I just turned off the TV and I went to bed. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen in an NFL draft was the party after they announced this guy. And I'm sure 90% of them didn't even know who this guy was.
That's crazy, man. Crazy. I hope you guys had a good time. And I'm Greeny, back to you.
Okay. All right, man, let's call it.
Oh, boy. All right, guys. I'm sweating it up. I'm sweating it. I lost about 10 pounds out here today. Hope you found it. So, anyways. Please like and subscribe. Dear God, just like and subscribe. Oh my God, just like and subscribe. We need it. Oh my God.
We need it. Please. Please. Please.
All right. All right, people. We'll be back soon. Don't worry if you miss us because we'll be back. Catch you on the flip side.
On the dark side of the moon.